The church was packed to the rafters, every seat filled with worshippers enraptured by Pastor Ade's fiery sermon. He paced the stage, sweat glistening on his brow as he railed against the sins of the flesh. Brethren, we must guard our bodies as temples of the Lord. Fornication is an abomination in his eyes. Pastor Ade thundered, his voice shaking the very foundations of the building. Little did the congregation know, their beloved pastor was a serpent, a lecherous hypocrite who used his position to prey on vulnerable women, sleeping with them under the guise of spiritual cleansing. His latest conquest, none other than Sister Kemi, the wife of his loyal deputy pastor, Brother Femi. As Pastor Ade continued spewing hateful condemnations of adultery, the main doors burst open. Femi stormed down the aisle, Kemi trailing behind him in tears, her clothing disheveled with some security agents. "You lying snake," Femi bellowed, shoving his way towards the pulpit. "I caught you defiling my wife in the unholy act." Gasps and murmurs rippled through the church as Ade went pale, his booming voice falling silent. Femi reached the stage and leveled an accusatory finger at the disgraced pastor. "This man is an adulterer and a false prophet. For years he has been sleeping with members of this flock, abusing his power." Kemi dissolved into heaving sobs, nodding in affirmation of her husband's searing words. The church exploded into chaos as the sordid truth finally came to light. Pastor Ade tried to deny it, but Femi came prepared. He connected the camera evidence to the church's TV. The church and atmosphere was so hot and amazed to see their well-respected pastor running naked in a room chasing Kemi and trying to rape her. Sister Femi has been complaining to her husband before now how the pastor has been making sexual advances towards her, but her husband refused to believe her. It got to a point where Pastor Ade threatened to kill Femi if she refused to allow her access to her body. On hearing about the threats, Femi's husband secretly planted hidden mini-cameras in his house to confirm what his wife has been saying. On the fateful day, Femi traveled to another state to pursue the Lord's work when Pastor Ade went to his house and tried forcing Kemi to sleep with him. Pastor Ade removed his clothes and without knowing there is hidden camera recording him. Kemi raised alarm and started shouting on top of her voice before neighbors came to her rescue. Pastor Ade denied and insisted that she was shouting because of the Holy Spirit as a result of his prayers to her. The story continues from this dramatic climax, going back to provide context on Pastor Ade's rise as a fraudulent miracle worker who used his authority to take advantage of female church members. It delves into his affair with Kemi in detail, as well as other improprieties he committed over the years. The fallout from his unmasking is explored, with perspectives from Kemi, Femi, other betrayed church members, and Ade himself as he deals with the collapse of his empire of deceit. After the incident, stories started flying about the Pastor Ade has been doing fake miracles. The First Lady named Cynthia came out to confess how Pastor Ade contracted her to act as a demonic-possessed girl during deliverance service. According to her, the pastor gave her 5 rings to hide in her mouth and instructed her to vomit it once he starts praying for her. After she vomited the rings as instructed by Ade, many members of the church dropped huge amounts as seed to the church and pastor. All these were brought as evidence against the pastor in court and he was jailed for life imprisonment. Nevertheless, after few months the pastor was spotted in another African country doing the same fake miracles and molesting members of his church. No one is sure how Pastor Ade escaped from the life imprisonment sentence. Thanks for watching. Please follow our channels and like our videos.